It's been a while since I've given any kind of updates on the ongoing, seemingly never-ending lawsuit between Alyssa Mercante and myself. So just a quick catch-up for those of you that don't know about this or anything about it. I'm currently being sued by ex-Kotaku journalist Alyssa Mercante because, as far as I can surmise, she doesn't like me and wanted me to not cover her. And what the lawsuit ends up being is saying a whole bunch of stuff of, oh, I called her these names and I said these mean things about her, and that was somehow defamation, and a whole bunch of other claims on top of that. So with that in mind, we have a couple updates today. First off, I posted to X, Alyssa Mercante's lawyers offered to drop the entire defamation claim against me. To which everybody was like, where's the but, or the what's the catch? And there was a catch. There was a catch. And I followed up with the catch that I'd have to agree to New York jurisdiction and give up my strongest procedural defense so that they could keep the case exactly where they wanted it. They weren't just being nice. It was a trade. If I conceded jurisdiction, they dismissed defamation with prejudice and promise not to refile it anywhere else. That tells you everything about how confident they were in surviving the jurisdiction fight. I said no to their offer because why would I? First off, like, I would love the judge to know that these people that are suing me for defamation are offering to drop the defamation claim, because ultimately at the end of the day, I don't think they give about the defamation. And this right here is proof of that. This entire case goes back to my assumption was correct originally. They wanted to get the stochastic terrorism law enacted. It's a novel law that does not exist. They want to get it created and create a precedent for it, so that they can then, these activist lawyers that she has could then reference my case and then basically sue whoever they wanted to and unlock the infinite money glitch. Because if you can say stochastic terrorism, it's basically, yeah, he worked with other people and the other people were piling in on the internet because he made videos on her and other people were making her feel bad too. It's like, I can't control what other people say. I give my feelings and opinions on things, but that's not me endorsing going after people and attacking them. I always disavow that. These lawyers don't care about that kind of stuff. They just want the law enacted. So I said no to their offer. I want everyone to remember what this means. If their defamation claim had real strength behind it, they wouldn't have offered to permanently drop it with prejudice just to secure jurisdiction. You don't abandon your biggest claim forever unless you know it's vulnerable. This case has turned into a procedural chess match that's burning time and money instead of proving anything on its own merits. And that really is the most PC way I can say what I'm feeling about this case right now. But it is, to me, I feel like it's a massive waste of the court's time. And I think they know that too, but they're trying to make it something valuable so that they can use this in the future, in my humble opinion. And then I followed up saying, boy, this really shoots a lot of holes in those theories that Smash is cooked. Haters are reeling right now, because I've noticed a lot of people online that don't like me or really like Alyssa. And bro, I hope she sees what you're writing, because man, that would be amazing. They really hate me for whatever reason. Ask yourself, no matter what you think about me, ask yourself, the person that you're standing by with Alyssa Mercante, if her lawyers are offering to drop defamation, don't you think that kind of weakens her argument that what I did was defamation? I mean, let's be logical here, right? I don't think it's even that much of a leap to say that. So that was the update that I provided. We have an update that was provided by Alyssa's team, and that is on Court Listener, and they published this today. And I had many talks with Ron Coleman with my lawyer, Ron Coleman, today, lasting a good amount of time. And he is, we will just say, frustrated because what her team of lawyers are doing, he feels is not representing what is actually happening. He feels like it's very disingenuous and that this is filled with lies by omission. I know, crazy to say that lefty lunatics lie by omission, but I mean, it seems to be becoming a trend the more I deal in this world with these types of people. I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's like 4 or 5 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 4.5 pages going through what their frustrations are. But the summary of basically what the letter is Alyssa's counsel is asking the court to impose sanctions against me under Rule 37 for failing to comply with court-ordered discovery deadlines. And in this letter, they argue that the court ordered me to complete discovery by February 16th after granting Alyssa's motion to compel and explicitly warned that the deadline was firm. We requested 1 week to comply and assured the court that would be sufficient. And they claim that we have not made any further production since that order. This is what really frustrated Ron. Ron has actually been working tirelessly over the past few days, getting all this information together. And it goes back to the same argument that we provided to the Honorable Margot K. Brody, the judge of this case, initially when we started talking about this stuff, is saying, Your Honor, the things that these people are requesting from us don't exist. We cannot provide things that do not exist. We will do whatever we can. We're going above and beyond, even though they're kind of picking and choosing words to say that we're not doing that or that I don't care about this. Just because I say this case is frivolous doesn't mean, don't get it twisted, it doesn't mean I don't care about this case. They're taking it very seriously because this is extremely important to make sure that this doesn't slip through the cracks and that I get screwed over because I'm not taking it seriously. But if you were listening to her lawyers and what they say about me and what I talk about on my live streams, they nitpick choosing certain segments of words and phrases that I say to make it appear like I don't care about this case, which is why a lot of people are saying, don't talk about the case because anything you say can and will be held against you, which is very true. But like I've said before in the past, I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place when it comes to this situation because I want transparency. I want people to know exactly what's happening. And even if you say, yeah, I get that, but it's a court case and you're being sued, you got to be careful with that. The other side of this is there's a lot of people that are financially supporting to make sure that I am successful in fighting back and defeating her in this case. So I would like to keep them informed as to what I can within what I'm able to as we go along here. And oh, by the way, as this starts costing more money, I'm going to need to request more money from people. It's really hard to request more money from people if you're not saying shit about it for months on end, and then you just randomly show up and say, hey guys, remember that lawsuit I'm dealing with? Gonna need more money. Trust me, bro, I'm still dealing with it. Sure, there'll be some people, but for me, if I'm going to be donating money to someone, I'd want to have like some sort of information as to what the fuck I'm donating for. So that's my perspective on it. And I don't know. I don't know the best way to handle it. Everyone's a fucking pro when it comes to this stuff in hindsight. Oh, you shouldn't have done this. That's why I said not to do this. And then if what I did works out, they're fucking silent. So all I'm doing is the best I can with the information that I have. Now, with that all being said, I talked to Ron about this letter that they sent through, alleging a whole bunch of stuff, saying that Ron didn't provide stuff and that we're dragging our feet, claiming that I'm not taking this seriously and quoting out of context things from live streams to make it seem to the judge that they need to get their way from the judge and they need me to start paying court fees for them or whatever it's called, paying the fees for her lawyers because we're dragging this on too long. And they claim that in this letter here. Ron told me he has been in constant communication with them. And as of yesterday, they were well informed of the information he was able to get. It was past the deadline, but because he didn't know what else they wanted. So he was in communication. I want to be very clear about this because I noticed people are starting to pile on Ron. It's like, don't just listen to what her lawyers say. They're going to paint the rosiest picture for Alyssa and their team over there and make it seem like we're dragging our feet, not doing anything. We're busting our ass over here, getting the information as best as we can, working as best as we can with them. Now, obviously, when I say that stuff, they're not going to clip that out of context and tell the judge that, because that would make it sound stupid. They're like, oh shit, he does care about it. They're picking things out of context to make it seem like I don't care about it, which is extremely infuriating, but that's who we're dealing with right now. So Ron was in contact with them yesterday, understanding both sides, as he communicated to me, that they were understanding that he wasn't able to get the information because it was not possible to get. So they had an hour and a half or longer Zoom call where it was basically over the shoulder, watching him navigate to prove to them that the analytics that they were demanding are not possible to get via Google or whatever they were searching for. And he told me, when I was talking to Ron, he told me on the phone, he's like, they know this because they were on the call with me and I showed them and they agreed with me, understanding they had this communication, they understood, and we're like, cool, okay, at least we have this information and this information. And Ron also told them on that call that he is working through thousands of pages of documentation for my ex tweets that I provided my entire account history to Ron, which is thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pages because I use X a lot. And he is going through keywording, finding anything that mentions Alyssa, New York, or whatever he could find. And he said to me specifically, he is sending them 8,800, not DMs, 8,800 pages of messages to her team of lawyers. And he said it was a fraction of what he had to review. And he promised to get them that information by Thursday, which is today. And he said he sent that to them. As he sent that information to them, which was their agreement that they had behind the scenes on what they're working on, he said he was shocked when this letter came through, completely took him off guard, because he's like, I thought we had an understanding that we were working on the information. I wasn't able to provide the information that they were demanding because it doesn't exist. It's not possible. So that our agreement was, hey, I'm going to provide you what I can based off of what we talked about. And then the next day he did that. So he's looking at that situation with this letter that got sent as a massive misrepresentation of what's actually happening behind the scenes with the case. And he had sent me information and emails with timestamps of what he sent to her lawyers with the agreements. So now we have them being disingenuous on public-facing documents to make it look like we're not doing shit over here. And I see the entire internet having a complete meltdown on my end, being like, bro, you're dropping the ball. You're not doing anything. Why don't you just listen to what they're asking? You could avoid all this. If Ron wasn't dragging his feet, Ron's been busting his ass hours upon hours every single day getting this information together for them. So I don't know what more I'm supposed to do or present to them. Ron is planning on submitting communication documents to the court as a rebuttal to this letter. Because, to be frank, this letter is complete bullshit. It's right in line with exactly how Alyssa treated me when she made that video about how people harass her, and then she showed me cutting me out of context to make it seem like I'm saying things about her that I never fucking said. That's what this letter is doing. It says it's like literally how lefty lunatics operate. If it wasn't for double standards, they'd have no standards at all. It's insane that this is where we're at right now. I don't know how Ron does this for a living, because being a lawyer, I would go insane. That if people were being this disingenuous and pretending, shaking your hand on one side and then walking away and then shooting you in the back when you turn around, that's what this is turning into. This is not how it's supposed to go with lawyers working to get to a resolution. This is the opposite of that. So I would like to think the truth will eventually come out and show that we were trying to provide everything to them. And furthermore, what more do you need? You already know I do not do business in New York. I don't conduct any business in New York. I'm on the record for saying that. You know I don't. This is a massive fishing expedition just to get information about me, my communication with other people, and things to use against me in the future, or other people that are connected to me. That's extremely concerning. It's weaponizing the legal system against somebody that isn't doing anything wrong. And I have so many issues with that. It's actually disgusting. So if you can't tell, I'm pretty frustrated about the situation and the things that they've said about me. I could almost argue they're defaming me in this with the out of context things that they're saying. I don't know how the legal ramifications against lawyers works when they start doing stuff like that to the person they're going after, or if this is all fair in love and war when it comes to the courtroom. I don't know. All I know is this situation is being completely blown out of proportion because we have, in my humble opinion, someone that is suffering severely in this world and looking for some sort of, it's like a cry for help for someone to pay attention. I'm over here like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't care about you. I never cared about you. I know that hurts to hear, Alyssa. I don't give a shit about you. Leave me the fuck alone. My whole thing was covering your transgressions in the game industry. You have eventually been fired and let go from Kotaku. You lied or were disingenuous about if you were fired or if you left on your own accord, and you changed the story based on what made sense for when you were suing people. And then you come after me and last this for a year and a half. For what? What are you fucking doing? Like, what is this? How can you keep doing this every single day with your life, thinking that this is a normal thing? This is fucking insanity. This has got to be mentally crushing you. I could only imagine the stress that you're dealing with, because for me, it is extremely stressful as well. I'm trying my best to do what I can do to provide the information and still live my life without this affecting me. It's getting harder and harder. It's getting more and more expensive. It is starting to impact my family. And I don't like when things start to impact my family. I'll leave that there. These lawyers, they play dirty. One of them's a dude that tells everyone he's a girl, goes by Mexican pronouns. He's a dude. You're not fucking Mexican, bro. I don't know why you have the MX after your name, but you're a dude. You have nuts between your legs. You're a dude. I don't know what to tell you, but you're disingenuous about your sexuality. You're disingenuous when you submit court documents. You're a piece of shit. You gonna sue me now for calling you that? Trans Mexican. Fucking these people, I swear.